Okay, it's with great sadness that I make this video. I've been waiting, but I know you guys are dying to know. Wrennie and the babies. So here's what happened Sunday morning before church. Yes, before church. I come out here in my church dress on the back porch to water the spider plant. Guess what happens? All the babies jump out of the spider plant. They're little bitty babies. They do not know what's going on. They do not know where they are going. They cannot even fly yet. They are hopping around. I scream for Larry to come and help me. Of course, he runs right out and stands in that doorway right behind me. You see the door. He stood there. Birds are everywhere. I'm frantically trying to catch a bird. That's not going to happen. Y'all know I can't catch a baby bird. One of them is hanging on the windowsill for dear life with its little claws. And I see it lose its grip because it's a weak little baby, and it falls. It doesn't fall onto the porch. It falls between the crap, between the porch and the house. Now it's under the porch where the big dog lives. So now I know the big dog is going to eat breakfast. So I turn my sights to the second baby who's hanging up on the screen on one of those boards. You see one of those boards behind me. It's sitting on one of those boards, and I think, well, I'll just grab it off that board and I'll throw it back in the nest. That's not going to happen. Y'all already know that ain't going to happen. So it jumps to a chair. Larry's standing there looking at the chair. And I'm thinking, grab the bird. No, he doesn't grab the bird. The whole time this is going on, he's lecturing me, telling me, you can't keep these birds captive on the back of the porch. What did you think that was going to happen? They're birds. They fly. Leave them alone. They'll be fine. They can fly. They need to leave. You can't leave them. He's yelling at me the whole time. I'm frantically trying to save these baby birds that I've just killed, sent to their death under the porch by dumping water on their heads. So, while we're screaming, yelling, cussing at one another, it's Sunday morning, mind you. I change out of my church dress into some sweatpants and a t-shirt. He takes the lattice off the side of the porch, and I crawl under there on the rocks on my hands and knees. That's what my knees look like afterwards. He's all this whole time telling me how stupid I am to leave the birds alone. I couldn't keep the birds captive, and I've explained to him many times at this point in a high volume with curse words, I'm not trying to keep the birds. They were not ready to leave the nest. If they had been ready to leave the nest, they would have left the nest. I scared them out of the nest, so I've killed them, and I need to get them, and I need to put them back in the nest where they're safe because they're not big enough yet. I'm under the porch. He's standing outside, again, telling me how stupid I am. So I'm trying to catch the birds with the towel under the porch on my hands and knees. I can't even get on my hands and knees and sit there because I'm so old and the rocks are cutting into my knees. So that's not even going to happen, but I'm trying. I'm giving it my best shot. Out the birds run through the lattice under the porch into the honeysuckle bush. I tell Larry, it's right there, grab it. So he walks around and he looks at it and he tells me again how stupid I am because the birds are big enough to not worry about it, that I can't keep a bird captive on the back porch forever. What did I expect? Yada, 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 all of a repeat. The bird comes back in, the bird goes back out, the bird comes back in, the bird goes back out. I lose it. It's not to be seen. All this time, Wrennie is screeching around outside in circles because I've excommunicated her babies from their home. She's screaming at us. I give up, I come out, I slam the door, I go back in, off to church we go. That very night, I asked the ornithologist from this morning, because he obviously is a very extensive and educated ornithologist, should I leave the nest in the plant? Is she going to come back and lay eggs in it? To which he responds, why would she come back? First off, the poor little bird had to figure out how to get in this screened-in porch. That probably took her months. When she did finally find a crack to get in, one little piece of grass at a time, she constructed a home for her kids, and you tried to drown them when they were eggs. And then you wait until they're alive, you try to drown them again, you run them off from their home, and they've become food for the dog. You think that bird's going to come back after all of that? If I was her, I'd say, screw you, and I'd be gone. And I said, seriously, do they lay eggs in the nest again? To which he said, well, I don't know. And that's the end of Wrennie. To make matters better, or worse, or whatever, the next night, where's Frog? I say, Her belly's probably full of baby birds somewhere. To which Larry responds, "If it is, it's your fault," to make me feel even better. From the ornithologist on duty.